Hey yo, what's going on guys? This is Klutch once again and welcome back to another episode of Man Manager Mode. But before we get into things, if you're looking to buy some FIFA or team coins from a cheap and reliable source, don't forget to check out FIFA coins today. Now links will be in the description. But on Rick James's agenda today, as we look at our upcoming fixtures for the next coming weeks, we've got Stade Rennais and Atletico Madrid in today's episode. And for the first game against Stade Rennais, I decided to field a bit of a different team. Last week I played my strongest team against Milan and we came out with a 3-2 victory in a pretty nail-biting game. It came out right to the wire. But for this game I decided to switch things up a bit. If you need to pause just to see the exact team, then do that now. But anyways, in the team I decided to give Dragovic a go, Cresswell, Chalobah, Jack Cork, and also give Benzia and Gaston Ramirez a little run out. The only two people that stayed in the squad from last week were Bakali and Rodriguez, because they kind of shone, along with Lallana and what's his face, Osvaldo. But I decided to rest them and try something different. We had a little bit of lovely play right here, but we weren't able to get the finish, which was kind of unfortunate. But this game was boring, I'm not gonna lie. I don't understand. We couldn't really create many chances. It was a lot of midfield battles and a lot of solo runs, like just there like you saw from Rodriguez. There wasn't much in terms of link-up play, which has to change, because I managed to beat Milan 3-2, but when it came to Stade Rennais, I really struggled. It was like a midfield battle the whole game, and it ended up being a boring 0-0 draw. So there weren't many highlights from that. But as we move on to see what business Rick James has, basically our scout said that they had no luck, so I had to relocate them. When it comes to scouts, I'm kind of confused, because they come back with nothing all the time. It's like they hardly ever find anything, and I'm like, what the hell are scouts meant to do this game? I thought it was meant to be decent. But anyway, moving into the game against Atletico Madrid, I decided to field my strongest team once again, but with one change from the side that we played against Inter. This time I decided to put Chalobah in the team over Schneiderlin, because in the last game, in all honesty, Chalobah was the only player that actually shone and stood out for me, that actually played really well. He intercepted a lot of the passes, made some great runs and some great passes, and he shone. So I thought, why not reward him and play him in this game? But right here, Bakali, oh my god, he's got to improve on that. That was a terrible shot. But once again, this game was a really tough game. I really have to change some of my tactics, because a lot of the things that I'm doing aren't working. I'm just swinging in hopeful balls to Osvaldo and hoping that he'll get on the end of it. But he wins a lot of headers, but he doesn't win the important ones so far. But we win a corner with him going on a decent solo run, and Lallana whips it in, and Nastasic gets his first goal for us at the club, even though it's a friendly, so it doesn't really count. But he puts us in the lead in the 71st minute, and I was like, yes, hopefully this should be another win against a big club. So far, our pre-season friendlies have been kind of mixed, because we did well against Inter, but we struggled against Stade Rennais. So I was like, okay, let's try and get this win. But Atletico Madrid had their own intentions. They had their own thoughts, and they were like, nah, we're going to make this difficult for you. So they piled on the pressure, and eventually they got a 90th minute goal to kind of deflate me a little. I was like, oh, fuck. Got all the way to the 90th minute, was about to get my second win against a big club, and it ended up being a 1-1 draw. So now the pre-season friendlies are over, I can kind of say, I don't know what to think. I'm pretty impressed that we were able to beat Inter, but we struggled against Stade Rennais and kind of bottled it against Atletico Madrid. So there's a lot to improve on. But Bolton Wanderers come in with a 250k offer for Guilherme Prado, and I was like, what the hell is this? That's an insult. He's worth 400k. I am not taking any cut price offers, because I don't really need to sell anyone. So if I'm going to sell someone, it's going to be for the right price, because I just wasn't going to budge. But as I was saying before, our scout couldn't find anything in Germany, so I had to go add some new instructions, because I was like, hold on a minute, they're not finding shit, they're not finding fuck all. So I'm gonna look for a winger as well, because I was looking at my team and I'm kind of short for wingers. I can't sign what's his name? I can't sign Bruma, because PSV don't want to sell him to me, and I decided why not look for a winger. So I decided to go for an attack-minded winger that's a dribbler. He's pacey and he's promising. So I was like, okay, that should be decent. So I'll send James Platt out to scout, because I actually forgot that I had him, because when I got him in the last episode, he was in transit, and then I completely forgot I had him. So I decided to put him to use and send him over to Spain and try and get some decent wingers from there. But Bolton come back to me and they're like, we can't go with the 450k that you can't offer us, so we can offer you 350. And I was like, you know what, no, you're gonna have to, let's see how much you really want him. I'm gonna change the price and bump it up to 400k and see if you'll actually go for that, which I'll be happy with, because that's his value at the minute. But anyways, moving on, as you can see, Real Madrid are keen to sign Suarez. But as I was saying about wingers, I inquired about Depay, because a lot of you have said in the comments about Depay, and I was like, okay, I'll have a look at him. But PSV want 9 million for him. I'm not really willing to pay that, so I decided to just walk on. I might even offer a loan move, but I'm not too sure whether I want to do that, because I've got quite a few loan signings already. But Jack Platt scouted Ivan Sanchez, but from looking at his stats, he wasn't really the kind of player I was looking for. He's really weak, and I don't like weak players on this game because they get brushed off like with ease. If he got a good balance, then maybe, but this is more the kind of player that I'm looking for. Timo Werner, who's 5'11". I decided to ask my scout to scout him even more, because I want to see what kind of strength and physical stats that he's got, because he could be promising. But as we move on in the next couple of days, next episode we're going to be starting off playing against West Brom, and as you can see, Man City are keen on signing Thiago Silva, probably looking to fill that gap that I created when I took Nastasic off their hands. But anyway guys, that's the end of today's episode. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like and also subscribe if you're new. But until next time, it has been Klutch. Peace. I'm Rick James, bitch.